So then when I came to like 11th, 12th and while I was doing my graduation, I realized that all these models were getting into films. Arjun, John, Aishwarya, Priyanka. So I thought probably this is the only way how I can get into it. I mean, I saw a window of opportunity there. And I came with that frame of mind. But the problem was, by the time I made a name for myself in modeling, the perception had changed. They were like, models can't act. Yes, so I see what happens is, it might not be fat according to common standards. But if I go like that shirtless, I'll be trolled by the same people. That is the period when for me to go and open the door, if someone rings the doorbell, it was so difficult for me to even get out of bed and walk till the door. After that period, like years, it went on for years, that, I mean, to begin with, you get into a shell where you feel that, you've not done well. I mean, there's a life at stake. A lot of things that you go through your head. That now I can just, if I see there's this project in making and I feel I can do justice to, so I just pick up my phone and I do cold calls. And I think that period was the golden period, if I can say that now, because you learn from your failures.
Hello everyone, welcome to Bollywood Bubble. This is Akash Bhatnagar and today I'm sitting with a person जिनके आधे इश्क के ट्रेलर ने मुझे उनसे पूरा इश्क करा दिया. So Gaurav, welcome to Bollywood Bubble.
Thank you for having me here.
I have to say, like, the trailer of Aadha Ishq has got me engaged, got me intrigued. I still don't know what the story is yet completely, and that is what I like about the trailer.
That's exactly what
it has got me hooked to it, that I have to watch it because I have to find out. So give us a little glimpse into the world of Aadha Ishq.
Okay, so firstly, that was the purpose, that just to create that mystery, that intrigue, and I'm glad the purpose has been achieved. So basically, in one liner, if I say, it's a story where mother and daughter fall in love with the same man. And so it's the show, it's set against the scenic backdrop of Mussoorie in Kashmir. It's shot between the mountains. The series, as the series unfolds, we see Renee, who's the daughter. She realizes that she's falling in love with this man called Sahir. And Sahir has had a past with her mother, Roma. They've had an affair, like a romantic affair in the past. And now after 10 years of separation, he's come back into Roma's life. And the intentions are not good. He's come back to get revenge. He's come back probably to harm her. We don't know. That we'll find out. You will find out when you see the show.
Yeah, and I don't want to know more because I want to see it.
Yes, I'm glad.
Yeah, and like talking about that, he, as you said, his intentions are not good. Yeah. Playing such a grey character, like having that kind of thoughts as a character, even, does it take a toll on you mentally, like going into that mindset?
See, I think it adds more relatability to the show because in life, we are not black and white. Yeah. We are all of us, we have that grey element. And that is what I think people will relate to. And not just me, I think every character in the show has some grey shades. It takes whether it so it depends on, see, as an actor what happens is you have this portfolio of experiences, that emotions, that every time you have to portray something on screen, you go back into that portfolio, you bring out that emotion and you portray, which is a very selfish thing for an actor. वो हो जाता ना कि कोई जख्म हो गया, अब वो भर रहा है, उसके ऊपर वो एक लेयर आ गई स्किन की, बट हम उसको फिर से कुरेद देंगे ताकि उसमें से खून बहे. It's exactly like that.
Yeah, a little bit sadistic. You have to.
It has. I mean, if you're playing, especially if you're playing Kesar Bharadwaj in Asur, you have to go in those dark zones. Aadha Ishq is. It's a love story, but it's very intense, and it's got a lot of these twists and turns that will keep you hooked till the very end. Yeah. So it's not just a glossy love story, which it's not. Even in the promos, it doesn't say that it's a glossy romantic affair. It's not. It's got a lot of intrigue. It's got a lot of shades of grey, and it deals with this modern day relationship and the complexities of modern relationship, but it's treated in a very old school romantic way. You know, that old world charm. There's a lot of poetry, there's a lot of painting, shot in these beautiful locations. Kashmir. I mean, Kashmir, I think when we were sitting and discussing and we were planning about the locations, so our director was adamant. She said, I can only picture this in Kashmir. only in between the mountains, in the middle of the mountains. And I'm so glad it worked out for all of us. Yeah.
As it is a love story, like everyone has a different perception of love. Is very subjective. So what is your perception of love? And after doing this show, kind of getting to see the kind of story it is, has it affected that perception in any way?
See, I feel everyone's definition of love is the way they've experienced love. I might define it differently with my experiences of love. You might have a different definition. But I think भले ही आधा हो, but होना ज़रूर. You should experience that feeling once in your life. Feeling of love and feeling of heartbreak. I mean, it might take you through a lot of pain, but I think it's important that you feel it. It's magical. Both these things. I mean, it might take a toll on you, but it's important to experience it. And like I said, while I was playing Sahir, you go back into your life, you go back into your personal experiences, and you bring it out on screen. So somewhere, I mean, it always stays in you. You know, that's why I said you're selfish. As an actor, you keep all those emotions with you throughout.
Yeah. And I have to say, as we discussed before the interview, you come from a very small town in Madhya Pradesh, and modeling as a career is very something you faff about in small towns, because it is not, people don't see it as a viable career option, especially when you started.
Yes.
Even today, people might be much more perceptive to it, but that time it wasn't. So where did that kind of got into you that you have to be a model?
So, like you said, that I come from a very small town in MP, and I remember from the longest time I wanted to be an actor while I was doing my schooling. पर वो वैसा thought था कि somewhere हम सब ने कहीं ना कहीं ये experience किया है कि यार मेरे को actor बनना है, क्या कमाल है, I want to become this. So perhaps it was that, but it was always there in the back of my head. And I remember I was in a boarding school, and in class 5th we had these inter-dormitory in my house competition, and so a teacher was appointed for every dorm. So my dorm teacher, she saw me directing the play. She left. She said, "You guys don't need me," and we came first. So I don't know. Like, my friends tell me this, that how is it we all studied together, and how is this that you chose to be here? So then when I came to 11th, 12th, and while I was doing my graduation, I realized that all these models were getting into films. Arjun, John, Aishwarya, Priyanka. So I thought probably this is the only way how I can get into it. I mean, I saw a window of opportunity there. And I came with that frame of mind. But the problem was, by the time I made a name for myself in modeling, the perception had changed. They were like, models can't act. So every time I would go and meet a casting director or a director, they had this preconceived notion that, oh, you're a model. Okay, we'll see. So I thought, ये तो problem हो गया. I have to change this now. So then I started working a lot more on my craft. I did theatre, I did a lot of workshops, and slowly, I mean, it's a never-ending process. Even today, I'm learning. If I'm watching now with all this Netflix and Amazon and Voot and everything, all these things, the thing is that we have access to international content. You see what's happening on the world level, and you're competing with the best. So it helps you grow as well.
And I was about to ask you, shedding that image of just a pretty face, because let's not kid ourselves, we talk this a lot when it comes to women. We ask them, we talk to them about it, but it's very rarely asked to guys. For models, for good pretty faces, people be like, they might not be able to act. For you to shed that image, as you also said, to shed that image, how has that process been? And I think it might be still a process for you that is going on.
See, so I've got nothing to do with the way I look. It's my mom, dad. So if you think that I look good, I need to thank my mom, dad for that. But apart from that, so I had this conversation with my director on the sets of Asur. So he had this notion before they casted me. And now, season 2, when on my last day, I was chatting with him, and he said, I am so glad that this happened. And I have told all my colleagues that how wrong I was and how you have blown me away. So when you hear that from the director that you respect and you want to be associated with again and again, it's just that, just pat on your back and move forward. So it's taken a lot of time, And also, it's been a learning experience for me to shed that image and to be perceived as an actor, to be taken seriously as an actor. And I think it's happening, like how you saw Broken Beautiful, you liked it, like how my director, both of my directors, even Aadha Ishq, I think she's happy with the work that I've done. And yeah, so it's changing for sure.
Yeah, and I'm happy that filmmakers like these are taking those steps, because I would have been very disappointed if Gaurav Arora has not come into the film industry. Like, I would have been very disappointed. I'm
It's been
saying
my
this
best
on record.
interview, you know?
Yeah. Also, like, talking about looking good and getting into that kind of a physicality, you had to change yourself completely from Asur to Aadha Ishq.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and we saw that kind of transformation on social media. But to kind of, I was reading some comments on it. People were like, this is not fat, or this is not much of a difference. But people don't realize that as an actor, even those 2 extra pounds play a huge
Yes, so
role.
I see what happens is it might not be fat according to common standards. But if I go like that shirtless, I'll be trolled by the same people. Okay? So when you see it on screen, just, I mean, if a role requires you to be in a particular shape, it's not, you can't be unfit. I mean, I was unfit, I was fat for my own standards. And this particular thing in Asur, there's a sequence, and luckily I had time for it, where I thought if I put on a little weight, it'll add to my character. And when I shared that with my director, he was very happy about it. And luckily I had that window to put on weight, and which I did. And while I was doing that, I got a call for Aadha Ishq. And when I met the makers, they said that we want you to be in a specific shape. This is what we want. So luckily again, I had 1 month. So to put on weight, and then it was also good in a way because I got motivation to get back in shape. So it happened quickly, but it was very, it did require a lot of hard work. I mean, I used to train twice a day. I used to do work on my core, do cardio in the morning, empty stomach. And in the evenings, I used to do weight training. And in the middle of the day, we used to have these workshops for Aadha Ishq. So it was a busy day, and of course, very strict diet. I used to carry my tiffin for the workshops, and I said, please give me 10 minutes, let me just have my meal. And they would understand because they knew what I was going through. And even throughout the shoot, for like 3 months before that, after that, I was very strict. So while I was putting on weight, I was eating all my favorite food. And then suddenly for 4 months, nothing at all. You know, young, boyish. So I lost weight. We changed the look in terms of shave kiya, wo sab kiya, I mean, which is normal. So there are 2 transformations. One is physical and one is internal, emotional. So I think वो उनको अच्छा लगे शायद.
Yeah. No, I can tell you, like, and a lot of people don't mind seeing that transformation when we see those pictures on social media. So it's an added bonus. We don't mind it. Also, like, I was reading about that, the losing weight part, and you suffered through 2 slip discs, 3 ligament tears. So how difficult did it get to kind of convince yourself every day to wake up and continue with that process?
See, so basically that ligament tear happened, I was training for martial arts, and after finishing my kick, the moment I landed, my leg twisted and I had 3 ligament tears in my ankle. And I was walking with a brace. After a week, I started to walk, that is. And then the moment that healed, I had this constant back pain, and when I scanned it, I realized there were 2 slip discs, L4, L5, S1. So that is the period when for me to go and open the door, if someone rings the doorbell, it was so difficult for me to even get out of bed and walk till the door. But then, like just going from one doctor to another, some said that you need to go for a surgery, and spine surgery is like a big thing. Luckily, I found the right guy. He treated me well. And when you have motivation to get back, that this is particular role that you want to prepare for, it always makes it easier.
And today when I came here, he opened the door and it was a beautiful sight to see. I can say that. You debuted with, your first projects were films. And you had 2 films in your first year. To get that kind of attention, and that was a big banner. So get that kind of an attention and then wait a little longer for your next project. How was that wait for you?
So it's no secret that those films didn't fare well at the box office. And obviously it was very disheartening. And if audience didn't like it, I mean, I feel audience are never wrong. If audience doesn't like something, they don't like it. As simple as that. Somewhere we weren't up to the mark. So yeah, after that, that period, like years, it went on for years. That, I mean, to begin with, you get into a shell where you feel that, you know, you've not done well. I mean, there's a life at stake. A lot of things that you go through your head. But, I mean, now when I look back at it, those years, I've only sat and worked on my craft. Like, I have done workshops, I've just prepared myself in my own way. And I think that period was the golden period, if I can say that now, because you learn from your failures. Success doesn't really teach you much, and I have actually experienced it. Like, it went on for a long time. And it has taught me a lot. A lot.
Have you had any Aadha Ishqs in your life?
See, like I said, it's better to experience Aadha than to not experience at all. So, yeah, I've experienced, I mean, whether you call it one-sided love or whatever it is. So, you know, like, just the fun thing. So, the first time I actually went up to a girl that was in my school and she rejected me. So, I'm like, oh, shit.
शुरुआत आदेश से हुई है.
आदेश से शुरुआत हुई है. But I hope वो मुकम्मल हो जाए, पूरा हो जाए.
Yeah, अब तो I think अगर if you will go to her now, तब तो पक्का हो जाएगा.
वो पता नहीं अब. That was like another lifetime.
Do you feel like you are much more prepared and much more kind of like experienced now to go back on the big screen?
Absolutely, because what happens is, like I said, those years where I had nothing to do but work on myself, it gives you so much confidence that, you know, now I can just, if I see there's this project in making and I feel I can do justice to, so I just pick up my phone and I do cold calls. So that confidence comes from there. So even while you're facing the camera, you have your own inputs, you talk to the director. All of that comes, it's like keep honing your craft. So there's this, I remember there's this thing I read somewhere कि when you see an eagle, वो कैसे शिकार करती है. I mean, you know, they'll fly, they'll see कुछ prey, उनका जो भी है जानवर नीचे, they'll come, and they'll उसको पकड़ के ले जाता है. But when they're not hungry, they've just had food, they still keep doing it. They'll come, उधर से वो अपने शिकार के ऊपर से बस छू के निकल जाएगा. They're not hungry, but she's honing her craft. Because कल को when she's hungry, when she has to do this, will she be able to do it? And that is exactly what it is. Just keep honing your craft. The opportunity might come, and you got to be ready. So I've been trying to do that. Let's see.
Are those opportunities kind of knocking on the door?
Yeah, it's for sure. It's coming, and it's there. I mean, it's there now. It's just see. It's not like I'm not looking for like a massive big break. No. The next big thing, I feel that what in my head is a lot of small things will be the next big thing. You know, it doesn't have to be this overnight I do this film and no, it's nothing like that. Keep working on your craft. Keep working on your craft. Keep just doing the work. Like Irfan Saab, he's one of my most favorite actor. I mean, just see what he's done. The legacy that he's left behind. I mean, I just so admire that man. And when you see, he gives you that inspiration. So it's not like मुझे एक ऐसे hero बन के ऐसे कुछ launch होना है. No, just keep doing your work. Keep your head down and just keep working.
Yeah. So what's next for Gaurav right now?
So right now there's this and there's Asur 2 and there are a couple of things happening, but I'm very superstitious about work till the time I don't even share it with my family. So for example, like when Aadha Ishq was happening, मुझे कल कश्मीर जाना था, I called them today. That listen, there's this some work happening and I'm going to Kashmir for that.
Yeah.
So I am like that. So अगर हुआ तो
this is a request from my side as well.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to watch Aadha Ishq because I have loved you for a long time and I will continue to do so because the way that you have been and today after knowing you as a person, that love has just increased. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much.
Wishing you loads and loads of love and luck for everything you do. I can't wait to watch Aadha Ishq.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.